Hello, my name is Tom Cruise, and tonight is going to be a big night, a very, very big night. Welcome back.
Shut up! Just shut up. You had me at hello. That's all the show!
Now, I've never met you before, you've never been on the show before, but because of who you are, whenever I have a guest, like if Rosamund was here, I would immediately be saying, what was it like working with Tom Cruise? And, you know, and friends of mine have been in things, and you always say, what's he like? And people, it's extraordinary, and you're probably aware of this, but they don't just say, oh, he's nice. They gush. Like, I have never heard a bad word about you. I mean, you were just universally loved by the people who work with you. And yet, like, the press can, I think, the press give you a hard time. Is that frustrating for you? Would you like to... It must be frustrating. There, I've said it. I've answered your question. It's frustrating. I've finished your interview. Don't thank me. No, but seriously, it must get under your skin.
No, actually, you know what? It's something that I realized you just have. It just is what it is. And you know, I remember talking with Newman, and he said, you know what? You can't ever pay attention to the white noise. You know, and just, you know, I think about that. You know, you just have to live your life and do your work and just do the best you can.
It's Tom Cruise night, everybody. Yeah. In the building, very excited to have Tom back on the show. Actually, how annoying is this? We've just missed Tom Cruise Day. We have, this is true, in Japan, the 10th of October is officially Tom Cruise Day. It is. I mean, I feel awful. I didn't get him a card or anything. You think, what an honor to have a day named after you. I wonder how people would celebrate a Graham Norton Day. Every day is Graham Norton Day. It never gets old. It never gets old. It's Tom Cruise. It's exciting. It's exciting. So you're all very welcome. Very, very welcome to the couch, but especially Tom. No, you're all very welcome. You're very welcome. No, that I mentioned in the thing, the Tom Cruise Day. Is that a real thing?
Yes.
And what happens?
I don't really know.
You haven't been yourself.
No, I haven't been able to make it. It was just came up, and they just named a day after me. I just felt very honored. You know, it was after I did Last Samurai.
Oh, of course.
Yes, I did Last Samurai, and it was something that we brought kind of Bushido back into their culture, and something that they didn't really know a lot about, and something that we studied, and so they started studying their own culture again in schools, and it's really wonderful.
And now there's a Tom Cruise Day.
I know, I feel very honored.
You must get half price somewhere or something.
No,
You must be discounted or something. And Kobe, it's hard for you. You've just spent so much time with Tom. You've been working with Tom, but do you...
So much time. So much time.
But I liked at the end of filming, Kobe wrote a tweet that sort of summed up her experience on the film. So much fun making Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise, but so much running, Tommy. Just so much running.
So much running.
There is a lot of running.
He was so fast, and he would kind of give me too if I wasn't keeping up. So I was very determined to at least look like I could keep up.
She kept up.
Yeah, but no, but
I'd be behind her, and go. Arms,
legs,
knees, like to look perfect.
Well, no, because you have the famous movie ride.
Because he looks perfect.
No, and I was watching and I could see you had gone to the Tom Cruise School of Movie Running.
I did.
It was...
I have my diploma. I'm a graduate.
Yeah, she's a graduate.
Yes.
She got her bachelor's.
Yes.
Because that time when everyone kind of discovered you in Interview with a Vampire, I mean, how old were you then?
I was 10.
Wow. And for you to be thrown... I mean, did you know who the rest of the cast were?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I watched A River Runs Through It.
No, it's a lot of famous people to be in a movie.
These are so funny. These, oh no, it's okay. Good old 90s crimping right there. And like long hair on the dudes, yes.
And now this is lovely. So has Tom Cruise kept in touch since then?
Yeah. He gives me a cake every Christmas. We call it the Cruise cake at my house. It's just this coconut cake. It's the best coconut cake I've ever had in my life. It's from Doan's Bakery in the Valley, so sorry, everybody. In England, you can't have it unless you go to California. But it's really good. And yeah, we get it every Christmas. Yeah.
How fantastic.
We're like, all our family's like, Cruise cake's here. It's like a major thing. And we all devour it that night. We're like, oh, thank you, Tom. You love it.
That's a lovely thing. And I guess that's a kind of tradition that actors give each other gifts. So, Chris, what did you get Jessica at the end of The Huntsman?
Yeah, what did you get me, Chris? Yeah.
Well, how about what did you give me at the start of the Huntsman?
I gave Chris a candle from Lullaby in which you can actually have the person's name on the label.
Which I didn't realise, so I gave it back.
Yeah.
Regan?
Awkward, wasn't it?
Yeah, super awkward.
It smelled horrible.
You're never getting them for free now.
No, I thought her trailer started to smell funny, so I lent her the candle.
Oh, you... No.
I never got it back. No?
No, and then I had to tell you, I was like, no, Chris, you can't give me the gift I gave you. I think you still owe
The
me a
same
gift.
candle?
No,
Was it the same
no, yeah, it was the same one.
Anyway.
Does Matt LeBlanc buy you really lovely things at the end of episodes?
He does not, no. No, he does not. He doesn't buy me anything.
Are these...
And now he's earning all that Top Gear money. Where's my gift, Matt?
So, essentially, Tom Cruise is ruining it for everyone. He
Yeah.
needs to cancel that cake.
So he not only gives presents on rap, but continuously for years after.
Years after,
See,
yeah.
that's impressive,
years.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is
What-
impressive.
wow,
I've
impressive.
never done that, except for my parents.
But they are great.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, they're really good.
Now, did Jeremy help you in your fighting scenes by showing you the... Now, what is it called? Tom Cruise has talked about this. Your warm-up exercises.
Oh, yeah.
The lunge.
The lunge. Yeah, the deep lunge.
But but have you invented this, or did someone teach you how to do
I
it?
didn't invent a lunge, man.
Isn't it a special lunge? Don't you do a funny turny thing with this?
It is special to me because I found when I get nervous with talk shows or award shows, things like that, you're around a bunch of people or like that you think you know, but you don't. So I get nervous.
Yes.
So I stretch. I have to make an ass of myself, essentially. And so I just do these sort of like deep lunges and reversed lunges. So I told Tom this story. I was at the Golden Globes, and I had to go present for Charlize Theron, and I was doing this reverse deep lunge thing. My leg stretches out back behind, and I nearly tripped Clint Eastwood. And I felt bad.
You know, 'cause you
He's
break a
tall, and yeah. And he's just like, "What are you doing, boy?" And he's like, "Don't mind me, but." But it's a thing I did, and then he laughed about it. So like we had to put it in Mission Impossible, and we did.
So were you doing them at the back there, or is this?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
weren't, were you?
Sure I was.
Did you see him do them?
No, I was in the dressing room.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did see them. I was looking through the...
Can you demonstrate a little bit? Can you just show us a little bit of lunging? Go on.
That's the point. The point is, it's just real simple, brother. Just got to do lunge, man. And the reverse deep lunge, like when you start. That's the one.
Good. Oh, that was impressive.
You like that?
That was nice. Oh, there's more. It's like 1970s dancing. It's lovely. Yeah, that was beautiful. John Bishop, you do have a connection to Tom Cruise.
Yes,
you do?
yes. Yeah, we do have a connection because we were both... I was on Top Gear shortly after Tom was on Top Gear.
This is the star in a reasonably priced car.
The star in the reasonably priced car.
And you did very well, Tom.
I did all right.
Yeah, you're top of the leaderboard. How did you do, John?
Well,
Here's the leaderboard. John Bishop, yeah, beat you. 2 seconds.
what happened? Well done. I changed...
Well done.
And
Through gritted teeth.
yeah, you can see that. Well done.
I left a bubble for this.
To get abused?
Because what happened, there was me, there was Tom Cruise, there was Cameron Diaz, and then Rupert Grint was fourth, wasn't he?
Rupert Grint.
Yes, so a wizard. I even beat a wizard.
You beat a wizard. Not only that, you didn't just beat us, you crushed us. That's 142.8. That's a good full second and a half almost.
I know, and the thing is,
great.
like, you can drive cars and you're interested. I've got zero interest in cars. I literally...
You know what? You chose the wrong profession. Sorry.
And tell me about it. I came away from that thing and I should be an F1 because all it was to me, though, is somebody give me a car and said, it doesn't matter if you crash it. And I thought, this is great. This is like being 17 again on my dad's insurance.
Very good.
I don't know, man.
But on Turbo.
You
Crushed
just go round a track. Is that right?
Don't
Just
belittle it.
No, there's no.
Don't make it sound stupid and pointless.
Hold it. Yes, please. It's very serious. It's actually not just going like there's turns. Like you got to make right turns and left turns.
Oh, it sounds really odd.
Yeah, because I think this is, I think this is your 5th time on the show. And I keep thinking, every time I think, this time I'll be cool about it. So not cool about it. It doesn't wear off, the Tom Cruise thing. Does it wear off in the film, the Cruise effect?
No, it really, on a set, I do feel for Tom because every day I'm sure I was like trying to encourage him to, you know, one classic Tom line, like, show me the money or something. I think, like, you know, there's always moments I was waiting, you know, bated breath for something, but, you know.
And wasn't there a day when you had your friends on set?
Oh. Tom knows the story.
Okay, that is not. This is not true. There's the truth, and then there's Annabelle, and then there's the truth. There's Annabelle's truth, and then there's the truth.
Let's hear Annabelle's truth.
My stories are far better. So we were in the middle of central London. We were shooting these running scenes, and all my girlfriends were coming down to
this story?
because it's a great story. And all my girlfriends came, and I was like, "Oh, Tom, look, my friends, wait!" And they were like, "Hi, Annabelle." And then he goes, "Watch this." He looks over, he goes, and they're like, "Ah!" And then he goes, "Annabelle, they're my friends now."
That is so not true. That is so not true.
That happened. I believe that happened. Even if you didn't say it, it's true. They are your friends now.
The truth is, Tom is an amazing... You're such a joker. He's an incredible joker on set. It's a lot of fun.
You would say, Renee, that Jerry Maguire was your big break. That was your first big, your name...
Yeah, I think that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, yes. And for the... Tom Cruise has been on the show a number of times, and he is incredible when he shines his light on you. So, like, to learn how to be a movie star off someone, like, amazing to learn from him.
Yeah. The best possible teacher, I'd say.
Because it wasn't someone in the cast. Who had the accident?
Oh, gosh, no, he was late for rehearsal. He's like saving people all the time. Yeah, no. He was late for rehearsal, and it had been raining, which is a miracle because that doesn't happen anymore in Los Angeles. And there had been an accident on the road in front of him, and there was a woman who'd been hit, actually. She was crossing the street. And of course, he got out of his car and ran to see that she was okay. And can you imagine being her on the road, and when you come to, there's Tom Cruise. You're dead, right? Surely. But so, yeah, he took her to the hospital, and it turned out, I guess she didn't have health insurance, which is a thing. You know, you guys have probably heard about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, she didn't have health insurance, but he took care of it, made sure she was sorted.
Of course he did. He's
Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And are you still on the Tom Cruise cake list?
You're on the Tom Cruise cake list?
Do you know, I didn't know we were on the Tom Cruise cake list till today. I was talking about you being on the cake list, and somebody said, "Oh, yeah, we get a cake from Tom every year." And I'm like, "Do we?"
Doesn't make it to
I've never seen the bloody cake. Yeah, someone in the office went, "It's the nicest cake I've ever had."
It's a nice cake. Yeah, it is. Well, I'll call you when mine comes next time. Okay, shame.
I know. I've never seen our Tom Cruise cake.
What's this thing with cakes? Because my cousin worked with Tom Cruise, and he got cakes from Tom Cruise as well. What's that all about?
So he must have shares in a bakery, surely.
I hadn't asked, but that makes
and
sense,
then when
doesn't it?
my granny turned 100, and then we arrived, and there were 100 cakes there from Tom Cruise. Yes.
What?
Yeah. Cupcakes.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, because... Was he trying to kill her? She's lived long enough.
Yeah.
Here's 100 cakes.
I think he's just... Yeah, well, it must be some way of spreading joy and using cakes.
Cakes bring joy, don't they?
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
But they do.
Cake.
I mean, I haven't had the joy, but everyone else in the office really impressed. Yeah. And Kirsten Dunst has been on the show, and, you know, like, it's so long ago since she worked with them, she still gets the cake. From Interview with a Vampire. She was a child in Interview, but still gets the cake.
And my 100-year-old granny, she's dead now, this was a few years ago.
Does she still get the cake?
Tom Cruise. I think there's probably...
Just arrive.
Outside the funeral home, there's a stack of cakes. No. The point is that she didn't... Tom Cruise didn't mean that much to her. She's of an older generation. She said, "Please tell your friend that I loved the cakes. It was so nice to receive them."
It was just sort of, to her, it was just this, oh, there's this random guy who goes around giving cakes to people. Didn't realise it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, like a character from Sesame Street or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Talking to people that you've worked with, you are known as this kind of the positive force on set. The, we can do this. The kind of we can do this. Is it true that Emily Blunt did break your spirit?
It was a particularly hard day, I will say.
No.
It was a very hard day.
We were in the drop ship. No, she did break my spirit. But there was that moment when I went...
Basically, we're in this dropship set. I don't know if you've seen the trailer. We're being dropped out of this ship in our exosuits, and it was a tiny set. They'd made the set really small. It was kind of like as big as a sardine can, and we're all in there. It's so hot in there. There's no air in there. Camera crew are, like, bumping into us, and we're hanging in the exosuits in harnesses, so, like, the entire weight of you and your suit is, like, on your groin, and, like, people are miserable. People are just, like, hanging like this, just waiting for them to shout action. And Tom, that insatiable positivity, I can just see it just starting to unravel. You know? He was pouring with sweat. I remember looking at him and he was like, guys, please roll. Please roll. And I just looked at him and I just went, oh, this sucks, like that. And he looked at me and he goes, it's a challenge.
I felt because you know what? If I start complaining, it's on. If I start going down, it's on.
Yeah, and I went, Tom, it sucks. And he went, OK, fine. I got an OK, fine. That was it.
Okay, fine. Let's go. Let's get the shot.
But Rebel Wilson's character has a love interest.
Yeah, also played by Ben Stiller. He totally, like, does an Eddie Murphy in this movie. And plays, like, more than one character. And lucky for me, he plays, like, this Neanderthal caveman guy called La.
Yeah.
There he is. Oh, look at that. Look at those guns.
That's his best moment. You could see in the scenes that he said, no, I'll rip that off. He'd been working out for... It must be steroids, because they were amazing.
Yeah, they were, like, massive.
Between takes, he's like that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he's a paleo man, so, you know, he would spend a lot of time
Of course.
having a full chest wax and out in the bush.
Yeah.
Right.
And you got a kiss?
Yeah. The first time I went in for the kiss, Ben goes, whoa, whoa. And I went, oh, am I like, has something dodgy about my breath? But Ben didn't think it was a take, and he didn't want me to ruin his prosthetics with, like, passionate kissing.
Have you ever made out with prosthetics on?
Do you know I haven't?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a tricky thing.
Yeah. Have you?
It was time.
I had prosthetic lips on. And so you had to save lips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing for them.
But no, that's interesting, because is it you in everything? Because you know there is this rumour that Tom Cruise is Law at one point.
It's not Tom Cruise. Definitely not Tom Cruise.
It really does look like him. No, but Tom Cruise did do famously the cameo for you in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, no, we had a great time doing that.
And is it true that those prosthetic arms, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah, and when we wrapped that movie, Tom sent me as a gift those arms.
What a beautiful
in a case,
gift.
I loved it. And it's like he's smashing a Diet Coke can in the arms. So
what would you use a Tom Cruise arm like that for, though?
It's hard to know, isn't it?
What good is that?
Yeah. You're getting the skateboard. You're getting the skateboard. No. And Rebecca Ferguson, obviously, you know, with child now, so that makes stunts harder. But even when you did the last movie, you seemed quite unsuited. I mean, you did suffer from vertigo going into these?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that does seem a bizarre thing to say yes to being in one of these films.
Well, I didn't really know what I was saying yes to.
OK.
Because I don't really know how these films were made. So, you know, when I was on the camel in the desert...
We explained it to you.
Well, very quickly, and then the first day of shooting, Tom, what did we do?
We jumped off a building.
Yeah. First day of shooting.
I think we've got a picture of you. So that you got...
That's me swearing and shouting the naughtiest words ever.
In my ear.
In your ear.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Swear. Did I say that? I'm so sorry. I apologize. I'm just so...
The worst words ever. And then we jump off, and he just looks at me in the Tom Cruise kind of way, and he goes, "Welcome to mission."
I don't remember saying that. I do not remember saying that. No way. That is way too cheesy. You said it to all of us.
Is it motorcycles you're into?
I'm not really into them, but I know how to ride one, for sure.
Was it Tom Cruise taught you how to ride a motorcycle?
Yes, actually, the only way I learned how to ride a motorcycle was because Tom Cruise... I met the guy the night before at a party, and he said, "Do you ride motorcycles?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Do you want to learn?" I said, "Yeah, sure." He goes, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "Nothing." And he said, "Come over, I'll teach you how to ride a motorcycle." So the next day I show up, Tom Cruise pulls up in a red Ducati, literally the one from MI3.
Wow.
He like rolls up and he put me on a dirt bike and taught me how to ride a motorcycle that day. And so it was...
I immediately think, what is the insurance premium for Tom Cruise and Zac Efron on a like, Dog from Churchill is going, no, 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 no to that.
You really got to explain that joke, you know that.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
But when I go down at the end of the day, if it was on a motorcycle being taught by Tom Cruise, I'd be a proud man. That'd be a glorious death.
It'd be True Hollywood Story on repeat.
It would.
Donald, you've worked with the great Tom Cruise. What is it, American Made?
Can you do that?
American Made. Probably not. No, I actually had to reverse a car in that he was in at the same time as me. And I remember looking down and his hand was on the stick shift thing, and I was like, OK, that's the way this is going to go. I was meant to be quiet. But yeah, there was a lot of planes in that film, so he like took us up in a plane and then like had the aviator shades on and like put us in, you know, where you drop the plane and you go in zero gravity for a second for the rest of it? Yeah, and I hadn't agreed to any of that before I got in that plane. It was amazing. And they also, like, flew a plane, like 8 feet over my head. Like, I was standing there.
What?
That's too close.
That's what I said. I said the exact same thing. And we had to shoot it, like, multiple times. And Tom ended up filming it. It was bizarre. They came up, he was like, "This looks awesome!" And then he ran away to grab a camera.
Good Tom Cruise running. Very good.
Thank you. All the way up. And yeah, he went and he grabbed a camera and came back and like sprinted back with the camera and set it up and started filming himself. It was mad.
Your dad, Brendan Gleeson, had worked with him. Did he kind of tell you about working with him?
He did not take my dad up in a plane. I don't... Yeah. My dad would have knocked him out. No. Yeah, Dad had worked with him before that, but no, I don't think he'd experienced the full cruise.
Yes.
Cruise does everything. Like, he's just that dude. He's
cruise control.
down for everything.
Yes. And so very welcome to all of you. What a lovely couch. But you join us on this special night. There's a frisson in the air because BTS in the building. Yes. Oh, Harry, do you know who BTS are?
I have no idea.
Jamie, BTS?
Yeah, I know who they are.
Do you really?
I didn't say I was a fan. I just know who they are.
Well, they'll turn. Don't let them turn. Rosamund?
I do now.
Okay, yeah. But you spent time in Korea, didn't you?
Yes, in fact, I'm actually an honorary citizen of the Kingdom of Busan. In fact.
Wow.
I had the pleasure of doing a press tour with Tom Cruise, and we went to Busan, and we were both made honorary citizens, and we got this beautiful Korean gong, which I transported back to England. And then I was delighted to find that there's a restaurant in my area called Busan. So I went to the restaurant with the gong and presented, well, in the hope of a free meal. I mean, it never goes away in the hope of a free meal. And they just looked very perplexed.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, yes.
But now, Simon, this is your 4th Mission Impossible.
It is, yeah.
So you've been working with Tom for, what, over 10 years now?
12 years. We worked it out yesterday, didn't we?
Oh, wow.
It's 12 years this year.
Yeah. Oh, so you know each other very well.
Pretty well. Yep. We've been in the trenches a long time.
Oh, yeah. So do you forget that it's Tom Cruise?
Yes and no. I've seen you kind of like on a day-to-day basis. We're working and we're friends, and it's fun and it's a job. But when we're out doing press or whatever, I see Tom become Tom. The Tom people know. Like I've seen Tom become Tom Cruise, which is which is amazing.
What is
He's so good.
Is he Tom Cruise now? Is this Tom Cruise?
He smiles, and like when we're shooting in Paris, and we'll be doing a scene, and then he'll just go, "Hey, where you going?" And that's Tom becoming Tom, because he's very, very good with his fans. And I remember that night in Vienna when we were doing like a recce, looking around at this, and it took about 10 minutes for 100 people to be around us. And it was so good with them, just waving and smiling and I'd be punching.
No, you wouldn't.
But you did it for my sister as well, I think. You just do that thing where you just kind of become Maverick, just smile.
That's Tom Cruise right there. There he is. Yes, that's him. Look, there he is.
He was there.
And Emily Blunt, in this movie, you look lovely.
Oh, thanks.
You look right. But in this, but you've got guns in this movie. Like, you're in amazing condition.
She's a badass in this film.
She really is.
She's a badass.
Yeah.
I know.
And doing the stunts, Emily, you had to wear those suits.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what they're made out of, but even if they're made of balsa wood, it's a lot of balsa wood.
Yeah. Mine weighed about 85 pounds.
Wow.
The first time I put it on, it was a very interesting day. You know, Tom, I think, was aware that it was my first fitting in the exosuit. You know,
I know, I was there.
I
spent months prepping it and working.
Knew that I'd be overwhelmed,
day.
I think. And he came over after I put the suit on, and I was trying to hold it together. And I'm not really like a crier, but he came up and he was like, "How you doing? You okay?" And I went, "Yeah, I'm good." And he went, "Are you sure? Because it's hard, right? It's like heavy." And I went, "Yeah, it's just really heavy." It's like a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. He told me to stop being
This is before
worse,
we started.
It was the best thing, and just to make me laugh, because I was like, if he hugs me right now, it's over. It's going to be like a sprinkler system, you know. It was like.
And in some scenes, and you can't tell, but in some scenes you are pregnant.
Well, yes, we did some additional photography, and I was pregnant,
Yeah, we did some
and it was
pickups,
kind
and
of
she was
still
pregnant.
early, so I wasn't really telling anyone. And so Tom was confused as to why I wasn't engaging in all the stunts, because I was kind of game for it when we did the original shoot. And eventually I went, "Because I'm growing a human." And he was like, and he was so cute about it, and then protected me, was helping me downstairs. Like, he was almost overboard, you know.
She's
after
like,
that.
Tom, easy.
Tom, I'm fine. I can do stairs.
Oh, of action heroes and things. Olga, of course, we saw you in the Bond movie, Quantum of Solace, where you were kind of unique in that you didn't die and you didn't even have to sleep with Daniel Craig.
No. She's alive. She's
But
somewhere
the weird thing, reading about the thing, I thought they'd cast someone in a movie like that and then they'd train you up. But they kind of made sure you could do all the stuff first.
Before, right? It's
Yeah.
easier. Why teach someone and spend all that money? No, yeah, when I came, I did the audition, and then they took me into a different room with all these guys, stunt guys, and they said, "Okay, now we're going to give you a physical test." And they made me jump and run and basically do a version of a boot camp.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was in an army. And they had a chronometer, and after that they told me I did well, and I had the capability of being, you know.
But are they checking to see if you're still
and-
beautiful when you're running? That kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because
Of course, absolutely.
well, you must
ask them. I don't know, but it was quite a funny physical test. I've never done that before.
But when you're like, for instance, when you're running in a movie, doing an action, is there part of your brain thinking about mustn't pull a funny face, you know?
No, I'm mostly thinking, God, oxygen. You know, because when you're sprinting a film, it's not just one take. I've got to do it 50 times. Wow. Sometimes, you know what it's like. You got to keep doing it over and over and over.
But you've got that really distinctive Tom Cruise run. Did you develop that for films? Is that your movie run?
No, no.
It's like your phone voice.
Develop that. No, it's just kind of the way I run.
It's good.
I tried to outrun him, but I couldn't. But actually, I don't even know how I passed the test, because as a kid, I was totally... I couldn't do any sports. I did dance, but I wasn't very sportive. And, you know, in school you always have that...
If you're a dancer, you're an athlete.
No, I couldn't run. I couldn't run. And I
dancers.
remember the teacher of the, you know, what do you call it in England? The
Boot
physical,
camp?
the physical
Gym teacher,
lesson, the gym teacher.
Oh, yes, yeah.
He said, you know, now we're doing push-ups, and I stuck my arms out and I said, "Look at these. Do you really think I can push myself up?" I said, and he complained to my mother that I did that. He said she showed me her arms, and I said, "Look at this. Do you really think this is possible?" And on Bond, I would do 60 times, three times in a row, and I don't know how I did that. I never thought of myself as a physical person. I have no idea how I've grown into that person because I'm not.
It's different when they're paying you, I always think.
To get
You can ride a motorbike, can't you? Which must have been helpful.
Yes, I could.
That's what I
back
heard.
in time. Yeah,
No, that's what you said.
That's what I told Tom.
No, I'm
But
riding
you don't ride a motorbike.
I actually know how to
She
drive
knows
a
how to ride a bike,
but
but I'm taking her on the
don't do it every day,
motorcycle
let's
through
put it that way.
Iceland. And I'm telling her, you know what it's like on a motorcycle. You're riding the motorcycle and you hit bumps and you're doing little, you're doing jumps. You have to keep accelerating and you have to ride with it. Well, all I said, Olga, please, no matter what happens, just hold on to me. I'll get us out of trouble if the bike gets a little squirrely. And we have a helicopter chasing us, so I'm watching where the helicopter is. I kind of know what the frame is. So I'm trying to really keep the... She goes, don't go too fast. I'm going, look, I won't go too fast. I won't go too fast. Of course, I'm going really fast. But I'm saying, well, that's as fast as we could go.
He keeps lying to me this whole time,
I needed the shot. Oh, we needed the shot. The helicopter's coming.
I didn't believe you a second.
So we're
still arguing about it.
This is a tense day on set.
You can see
No,
that.
I'm saying, so we hit a jump, and I'm going up in the air, and I land, and the steering wheel's like this, which it's supposed to, and I'm accelerating, and her hands come off, and now she's pushing me down, and she's driving a motorcycle.
I'm trying to help him, you see. I'm trying to save him.
I'm terrified. Now I'm terrified. We're going like 70 miles an hour. I'm going, Olga, please, just, I said, really, don't do this. So I slowed down. She goes, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I said, look, really, it's dangerous.
And I'm not realizing I'm doing it. It's just,
she doesn't realize it. It's just her hands keep coming out
trying
every
to
bump.
help.
And I'm going, please, Olga, really, just... And so we hit another thing in her hand. So now I'm driving the motorcycle like this, driving the motorcycle, trying to hold on. And every time I hit a bump, her hand's coming out. So I have to take my hand off the bike, and I'm going like this. I'm saying, really, Olga, please, this is dangerous if you do this. You will kill us. You're not helping me here.
I know, that was...
You are not helping me.
But at the end of the movie, you got the motorbike.
Yes, I got that.
Yeah,
as a
Really?
gift.
That's a cool bike.
Very cool.
What a lovely gift.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
That is nearly as nice as
Would you take me for a
mariachi
ride?
band.
No.
Never again.
You can come by and look at it.
How about I drive?
Yeah,
You
you
sit
can
in the
drive
back.
it. You could drive it. No. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I
welcome.
appreciate
Anytime.
that.
Just
Yeah.
think about it
Thank
again.
you.
But then, along came the acting. Now, was the first big audition for Any Given Sunday?
First audition for Any Given Sunday with Oliver Stone, which was crazy because when I did the audition, he after I did my audition, he says, "Well, you're just terrible, aren't you?" And I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you stink." And I was like, "What?" And as I'm walking out, he's writing in his tablet and says, "Jamie Foxx, slave to television." And so I leave and I say, "Look, I don't want to deal with this dude." And then I get a call and says, he actually wants you to come back for the agent part. He likes you. I come back and I'm pissed. I'm like, yo, man, I was really pissed at how you said, I was this way. He says, yeah, well, you know what? I need someone to play the lead part because someone else was going to play it and they fell out. We need you to play the lead part. He says, but you got to get better. I said, what do you mean? He says, you're a television actor. And television actors are loud while movie is more, subtle. So I couldn't get it right. But what I did was, as opposed to doing all of the readings and stuff, I was playing a quarterback on this football team, this young, black, cocky quarterback. So I went and made a videotape of me just as the quarterback. And we did this whole, I made up this practice session, and we made up a song because my name was Willie Beeman. So I ended up getting the part because of the tape, but I learned about being a television actor, and even to the point to where I actually went to audition for Jerry Maguire. And the story with that, Tom Cruise is doing, Jerry Maguire. Yeah. So they had, the guy sees me read in LA and he says, yo, I want you to go to read for TC in New York. I said, who? TC. I said, all right, Tom Cruise. I was like, oh, Tom Cruise. So I go to read, but as I'm reading, I'm loud. Show me the money. You know what I mean? Right? That's all I'm saying, brother. Show me the money. Right? And so
I know, it's really good. So I thought that was great.
And then the way Tom Cruise reads his line, but it was like this. So I thought he lost his place.
Because I couldn't hear him, so I said, we right here. He says, I know, I said the line, I'm waiting on you. I'm like, oh. So now I'm sweating, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I done lost my place, I done went blind, the whole night. Anyway, I didn't get the part. And, you know, of course, you know, Cuba Gooding got the part and he won the Oscar. But I had to learn how to bring it down. And then later on, I did Collateral with Tom Cruise and then got nominated for an Oscar.
Same year, you won.
Yeah.
Double nomination.
Yeah.
I like the story, though. I like the story of you learning that, like, Tom Cruise was the star. Was it,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and that was the other thing, too. When I did get in Collateral, you know, I was sort of like, Michael Mann was like, hey, you better keep your stuff together because I'm, you know, making sure this movie works for the big star. And this is how I knew I wasn't a big star. We're in the car, and we're driving. We're supposed to do this stunt where I crash into another car, right? But it's supposed to be a stunt. But what happens is the car gets out of control, and I actually do crash into the car. And when they get there, they're like, Jamie, get out of the way. Tom, are you okay? And that's where you know where you are.
We have to mention that you've just finished filming Mission Impossible 5 with Mr. Tom Cruise.
I have. I was there today, actually. We're doing a few pickups today. So.
Because you're not just in it, you were sort of properties co-starring.
You're making me feel lazy.
Yeah. Cool. You're a very cool man.
No, I'm not
no, you
at all.
are. You say
I'm not
things
Michael.
that I wish I could say. My favourite bit was JJ lets me improvise. JJ wouldn't even cross the road to say that.
But in Mission Impossible, because Tom Cruise has been here and he's talked about, you know...
He said to say hello. I swear to God, he said to say hello.
To
I
me,
promise you.
he is the nicest man in the world. He is the nicest man in the world. But he talks about doing all the stunts, because in the trailer, there's that big car chase. You see a bit of it.
Yes.
And you are in that car.
Yeah, we spent 5 days in a BMW in Casablanca, just herring around this, which was extremely exciting, but it got very boring in between the takes. So I realised after about 3 days, because it was very hot in Casablanca, but I was getting really hot. And, like, a little too hot. And I realised that Tom Cruise had been turning my seat heater on when I wasn't looking.
Cruisey does little things like that.
He's far more of a sort of ordinary chap. I mean, he's not. He's extraordinary. But he kept doing it the whole time. And he kept getting me, said, could Simon get some electrolytes? And, like, he was hydrating me. It was like 7. He was keeping me alive while he was torturing me. And then, as soon as I noticed him do it, and he'd do it in the middle of a handbrake turn. Like this. I decided to get him back, so he went to the bathroom, and I got one of the electricians, I got some black tape, and I got this slither of black tape, and I put it over the lights on his seat heater and turned it on. So he couldn't see that it was on. So he sat down and was like, checked it wasn't on, because the light wasn't on. And then he just, after about 5 minutes, he was going... And then when he realised that I'd done that, he gave me props. And he never lets you win, Tom, so I'm allowed to win.
And we've got the picture of the two of you in the car.
Yes.
Aww. Slightly sweaty. And can you be mates with Tom Cruise? Or is
so in love.
I'm with you. You do fall in love with him. He's an amazing man.
Extraordinary, yeah.
You're very good in that. You're very good in everything.
Thanks, Mike.
I loved you in that as well.
Thank you very much.
You're brilliant.
Very kind of you.
The one with the
tall building.
In Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, he did that as well.
You were hilarious. I've told you this before, every time I see you.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, Tom Cruise, every time you're here, I sound like your mother because you do the stunts and I worry for you. I just think, stop now. Luck running out. You know, there's only so many times you can do these crazy things. Like the last Mission Impossible, you learned how to hold your breath underwater. Yes. Tell the people how long. This is incredible. How long could you hold your breath for underwater?
6.5 minutes.
Good, right?
Yeah. Those takes underwater, because it took from the time you get rid of the regulator, get rid of the bubbles, get on the side, and we wanted to do it in one shot. So they were very, very long shots. So these takes took, you know, I'd have to hold it consistently, you know, safely up to 4 minutes almost for every take.
Almost to the point of why bother?
Yeah. I know, but we were committed. Everyone was there. The camera was set up. I'm just like, what am I going to say? It was too late to say no.
How is that possible? Is it circular breathing? Do they do that?
No, it's just that you have these free divers that came in and trained me how to do it, and it's not pleasant. It's really...
You panic. Do you get to a moment where you panic?
No, actually, you get to the moment where you train your system to, I'm controlling the breath. So I've got a low heart rate anyway, and very low heart rate, which means my body's not using as much oxygen, but also we did stuff to bring the heart rate down lower and certain breathing exercises. And I trained for a long time to the point when I finished the sequence, there'd be times I'd be sitting there talking in meetings and I wouldn't breathe. I realized I am not breathing, and I had to turn my autonomic system back on to breathing in.
That's bad. That's
bad. I know. That was a little... I did that, so I'm done with that.
And now, Kate, the underwater stuff, there's been a lot in the press about you holding your breath, and you're very good at it. Because Tom Cruise has been on this very sofa talking about his holding the breath.
Oh, has he now?
Yes.
OK.
No,
I'm
no.
curious about that.
Well, he held the record for celebrity breath holding, which is a very niche, thing. He clocked in 6 minutes 30. Like you thought I was going to say like 45 seconds. No, 6 minutes 30.
Which is 6 minutes 29 seconds more than Chris Moyles, and I'm a celebrity. Get me out.
OK, so that's Tom. We're just going to say the end of Kate Winslet, seeing how long. So she's been in the water. So you see the back of her head, and it's Kate's back of her head. There she is. So how long has she managed? Here we go. Roll it
Here
there.
we go.
Here we go. That's...
Oh, here we go.
Nice. Here we go. Here we go.
Am I dead? Am I dead?
You are alive. You're very much alive.
What was that?
What do you think it was?
I don't know. It could have been 6:10. It could have been 7:10.
It was 7:15.
What?
Oh, come on! Come on! Applause, Cruise.
It's unbelievable. What goes... I mean, because 7 minutes is so long. What were you thinking about? What's, dinner tonight?
Yes, I was. I was thinking, OK, chop the onion, peel the garlic, count the slats on the floor below me. I mean, firstly, I do have to just say this. It is a sport. It's not something that you can just try in the bath, and you should never, ever, ever... No, I really mean this. You should never do it by yourself, because actually what happens when people don't know what they're doing is they come up, and you saw I did a breathing sequence the second I came up, and then I was talking like a totally non-breathy person. So what happens is people will come up and they go, and that's when people black out and run into trouble. So it is not something you can just do without knowing what you're doing. So the training I had was 3 weeks of training every single day. And you learn how to literally change how you distribute the oxygen in your body. It's a very detailed, quite extraordinary process. And I loved it and got really, really good at it, it turns out.
You know who's running a bath right now? Tom Cruise. He's put the timer on his iPhone. He's in there.
But I'm so proud of it, and it is an amazing thing, I'm in my 40s, I've had 3 children. You don't think that you can be brave enough to learn something new when you've kind of left education behind. You think, oh, my learning something new years are gone.
Yeah.
And I was so, as a woman, I felt so great about it and so powerful, and I was like, yes, come on, girls, we can get out there and do great things.
Well, it could be a physical thing.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
Now, do you hear that, Nadia? Oh, how long?
7:35. Touch and go for a moment.
Your lips have gone a bit blue.
Yeah, a bit blue.
Breathing technique.
Do the breathing technique thing.
Yeah.
I've never met your twin.
6 cleansing breaths, you'll be fine.
Obviously, the two of you have been working together, so you know each other. But Zach and Tom, you know each other.
Yes.
Just in showbiz land.
Yeah.
But how do you meet if you're not in a film together? How does that happen?
We met at dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dinner?
Yeah. I showed up late to what turned out to be a fancy dinner. And I felt really underdressed. Showed up late. I was in like a beanie. And there was one open seat. I sat down, and it was next to Tom. And he said, hey, let's hang out tomorrow. I'll show you some stuff at a couple of his cool
about motorcycles and cars and stuff, so I showed him how to do that.
Invited me over.
Yeah.
So I showed up, and and I pulled my car inside a hangar with all of his stuff and like memorabilia and bikes, and I was kind of geeking out. And about a few minutes later, I hear like, so I like slowly like peek out of the side of the hangar, and all of a sudden, boom! You just flew by at probably like 100, Mach 10 on a Ducati. And I was like, whoa, that was insane. And you flipped around and pulled in and skirted up right next to me and took your helmet off. We're like, good morning.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
It was so cool. It was so cool.
But now, am I right in thinking your first taste of Hollywood was Mission Impossible?
Yes, I was the lead role in Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
I was believing you. They believe you. They're clapping. They're clapping you. Think she's lying. No.
She's in it. But who did you actually play?
I played Women at Desk.
Now you remember. But did you, because you were in the famous scene.
I was in the infamous scene.
Yeah, so this is Tom. This is where he broke his foot.
Yeah.
But now you're on the other side of the, you're in the window.
Yeah, you can sort of see. I think if you sort of zoom in a little bit more and you sort of keep zooming in, you can see that I'm sort of behind that window.
Were you really behind the window?
I was really behind the window, giving the performance of a lifetime.
So what, is he flying to kick you?
Yeah. He's flying to congratulate me on my performance. Really well.
And then you shut the window and ruined his performance.
Yeah, he broke his ankle.
So he kicked the building and broke his ankle?
Yeah, he was supposed to land, but his foot slammed into the wall of the building. And then they had to stop production for months. But I got there in the end. Yeah.
Did you have to audition for Woman
I
at
did,
Desk?
yeah. I had to go to an audition room and they said, like, OK, so pretend that you're at your desk and you're eating lunch, and then Tom Cruise slammed into the window. So I was like...
Very good.
That's how you get up.
Yeah, excellent. Very good.
Now, I turned round looking for Tom Cruise. Where is it?
Now, obviously, you are English, clearly.
Yes.
And you're very, very good in the movie. Do not get me wrong. Excellent. But if I was a beautiful blonde American actress watching the film, I might slightly think, that bitch, what's she doing in the film?
Can you say that on television here?
Bitch?
Yeah.
I said worse things in rehearsal.
What else did you call me, Graham?
What
else did he say?
I know, I was just channeling. I was channeling what a beautiful blonde American actress might think. So how did it happen that you ended up going for Rosamund?
We wanted her for it. She came in and we met, and great actress, very beautiful, cinematic. And when she came in, it was like we just wanted her in the film.
But you were 5 months pregnant filming this movie.
But
I guess
by the end, not the whole way through, obviously.
Time passes.
Time
passes.
I have a secret stowaway in the film, which is quite cool,
beautiful.
you know. So.
But as the producer, you're one of the producers, Tom. When you found
he
out,
thought about firing me. He tried to fire me, but I was pretty hard to get rid of.
No. Actually, you know what? For insurance reasons, they came and they said, look, you know, maybe we should replace her, but there's no way we're going to replace her. So what we were able to do was I would shoot with her during the day, and then I would do the stunt car chase at night. So there were some days that we shot 36 hours, and I had a 48-hour time where I was shooting first unit with Rosamund and then second unit at night doing the car chases.
Wow.
This man would come to work with 1 hour sleep, looking
I know,
pretty much the same.
you had to be very patient with me sometimes. There
was one shot, I think maybe only one shot.
No, at the bus stop. When we were at the bus stop, I was so tired. It was 36 hours, and I had that whole monologue when I'm leaving the bus station.
Oh yeah.
And I could only had enough energy for the take, so they would roll camera, and then I would wake up and do the take, and then fall back asleep again.
Rosamund, were you supposed to be in any of these action sequences and had to pull out because of Solo?
No, I wasn't. But I did.
She'd be great at it. She's a terrific driver.
I had to do my one little bit of driving, which is, you know, in some ways, it might look slight in the movie, but the thing I have to do is I had to reverse out of a parking lot, put the car into gear, drive incredibly fast, stop dead because I've nearly run over my co-star, right? And of course, when your co-star is Tom Cruise, it somehow puts an extra pressure. Not that it wouldn't be bad to run anybody over.
Some people.
No, and you're very valuable, Tom. You know, I know that the insurance claim would be unaffordable.
Yes, and it's all that stuff about, you know, actors. It's so important. You trust each other. It's a trust exercise. But, like, if someone's driving a car towards you, that's a lot of trust.
Well, I trust her with the driving, but I did have a stunt guy saying, OK, if she passes this mark, jump this high. We figured out, like, I was going to be on the windshield of the car.
So you had planned for her hitting
planned,
you?
just in case. Just in case. Just in case if she hit the accelerator instead of the brake, I was ready. I didn't want her to feel bad.
Lots of big action sequences. And now, I never quite understand this, but I read somewhere, Britt, that you had to learn, you were actually taught a movie star run for the action sequences.
Yeah, I mean, they tried for like 5 minutes.
Well, I could work with that on you. If you
Oh,
know.
could you?
Yes, I have.
Is it
a thing?
What is a movie star? Why was I not informed?
You limp.
I don't know. Is that true? They gave you a movie?
It's a true thing. Yeah, our stunt coordinator, Rob Alonzo, at one point he was like, you know, if you're going to be in this movie and you're going to be running a lot, if you want to work on it, there's the thing called the movie star run, because he worked with Tom Cruise a lot on the Mission Impossible movies. I'm telling you, this is a real thing that exists.
Well, Tom does that thing, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like high knees, and you have to get the face working.
Very good.
Lots of reaction. You know what I mean?
Where's the camera? That one right there. That one right there.
Sell it.
Movie star run. Yeah.
I get it. Something that could be blowing up behind you. Like...
Now I understand.